We are back. It's cooling out another week.
It is Kev.
And it is Rel. Obviously, can't come to you initially with the same type of energy that we like to start the podcast off with, just given the extreme times and sad times that are currently going on in the state of our nation with the death of George Floyd. And then, subsequently the protests, the riots, whatever you want to call them, everything that's just going on. It's extremely challenging and emotional time, I will say. So we're going to start the podcast off a little differently and, give our thoughts on that. So you want to start, Kev? Or?
No, you lead the way and I'll come in after you.
It's because I got a mini fro. You want me to start?
You're the activist.
Nah, but seriously, all jokes aside, let me start off here. Obviously, like the death of George Floyd, the murder. Sorry, let me say the death. The murder of George Floyd, by Derek Chauvin, I think his name is, or I could be mispronouncing his name, but the police officer, obviously 100%
and the two other
unwarranted.
cops.
Yeah, exactly. The additional video has come out now with 2 more cops kneeling on his back. Obviously unwarranted, obviously just heinous, obviously just cruel, all the negative characteristics and adverbs you can add to it, like 1,000%. That's exactly how I feel. In regards to that, and like truly, like I understand everyone's frustration. Like I it's hard for me to like watch the news and watch the TV and like see people rioting and see people, protesting, and for me to get upset at what I'm seeing. And I can't get upset because I can't be upset at people for protesting and rioting because I'm upset. And like it's a very frustrating time, and like the reason why it's even more frustrating and why emotions and feelings are boiling over the way they are is because this is a continual thing. Like this is a repeating thing. This is something that we've seen since we were kids, the 90s, and God knows how long, way before then, hundreds of years before then, but just during our lifetime, right? We just saw this, with Eric Garner. We just saw this with Tamir Rice. We just saw this with Sandra Bland. We just saw this. And even like when we were younger, just hearing stories about Sean Bell, Amadou Diallo, all those things, and hearing about that growing up, those things, like, I mean, obviously it affected me because like just reading the stories, like, wow, that's crazy that, it could actually happen and that the cops can get away with something like that. But now as I get older and I'm living through it and like I'm actually seeing the news coverage, and we have, I guess, additional news coverage now through like social media sites like Twitter, and, seeing different angles and different sides of the story, and how, news and certain media are reporting the story, inaccurately, in my opinion, based on, all the facts that are being presented to me elsewhere. And just trying to, I guess, create a storyline that, all the protesters out there are, looting, and, all these, negative stigmatisms that come along with, people just out there using their constitutional rights to protest for an injustice. I 100%, like 1,000% do not understand like what the Minnesota like attorney general's like hold up is in charging and arresting the other 3 cops. Like I don't understand it. It's like all this could have been avoided, like from the jump. Like, first of all, why do you have your knee on someone's neck for 9 minutes? And George Floyd screamed out. He screamed out while he said he couldn't breathe. He screamed out for his mother. His mother passed away 2 years prior. So you can only like imagine the amount of pain that he must have been going through, and where his mind must have been to be.
And he told him, relax.
Jesus Christ. To be screaming out for your mother, who's like no longer on this earth with us at the time that he was on this earth with us. So like that is it's saddening, it's heartbreaking, and then to just see it, to see it. I think that like that's what makes it like even like I guess more so surreal now because we were children, the 90s when Amadou Diallo, Rodney King, all that stuff was
Rodney
happening.
King,
Yeah, it's like like you see it, but like now I'm like living it and I'm seeing it, and it's like everywhere. Like to watch that video, I'm not even gonna lie, when I first woke up, was this? I think it was Monday morning, right?
I think so.
Or was it? I think it was Monday when it initially happened, and I saw it. I saw the CNN alert across my phone, and I said, I'm not even gonna look at that. Like I'm not even gonna look at that because I knew that it was gonna frustrate me. And CNN already had the video and all that, and I was like, I'm not gonna look at it. I ended up getting on Twitter, just my like daily normal routine, see what's going on, and I watched the video and immediately infuriated. Like it just came over me, infuriated, sad, just every like any type of like negative emotion you could think of, like just all hit me all at once. And that's the sadder part was that my next thought was they're gonna get away with this. Like that was like my immediate next thought. Like nothing is gonna happen. Like nothing is going to happen. No, I'm shocked that charges were brought. Period. But even then, it's like 3rd-degree murder, 2nd-degree manslaughter, and I mean, like, yes, I'm glad that they finally came to their senses and charged this one cop, but you still have 3 other cops that were complicit that are walking the streets. And at the end, I mean, like, realistically, would I be shocked if this dude, if he walks, this officer Derek Chauvin, I keep pronouncing, I don't know, but whatever his name is, would I be shocked if he walks? No. And there was like even after he got charged, like that still wasn't a satisfaction to me because it was just like that means nothing. It's sad that like realistically, like our lives, meaning Black people's lives, just aren't valued, or at least it doesn't like no, we aren't valued the same way, as other races and particularly white races. Like it just doesn't seem like our lives are valued when it comes to like police brutality and just like all these extreme injustices. And when Black people feel like they have no outlet and no one's listening to them, then this is what happens. Then you have protests, then you have riots because people feel like they're backed into a corner and they have no other way out. Like like if you can have someone on video, a cop on video with his knee and George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes, and then the first thing that comes out,
and he's unresponsive.
Yeah,
for like
and the first
2
thing that comes
minutes.
out, and then they the chief of police of Minnesota comes out the next day at the press conference about we need more video evidence and information. Like who like like who do you think you're talking? Like like it's like almost like an insult to everyone. Like it's an insult to everyone's intelligence. Like we can clearly see what's going on, and yet you're telling me that you need to hire someone particular to investigate this. It's the same thing with like not to go too far off topic, but like yesterday where the NYPD off the cops and the 2 trucks like ran through the barricade of all those people.
Yeah.
And they come out today saying that they need more evidence and that they're looking into it. What are you looking into? Like it's clear as day, like what we just saw and what we just witnessed. So like all those things coupled together, it's very sad, and it's just like it's scary, honestly, because I was talking to a friend of mine who shall remain nameless, and essentially what he was saying, alluding to, was that, for lack of a better word, like this wouldn't happen, essentially like trying to get into like professional tiers and, this type of Black versus this type of Black. And I like wanted to, and I like, first of all, I was like, oh, interesting. I didn't know you thought like that. Like, so like that was like,
that's good to know.
Yeah. So that was like eye opening. That was an enlightening conversation.
I need that name when we get offline. Go ahead.
Oh, it's the one. Yeah, I'll tell you. But yeah, but so that was an enlightening conversation. But then but that was like, no, like, it doesn't matter like what profession like we have. It doesn't matter like, meaning like black people. It doesn't matter like who you are. Like, at the end of the day, like, you're still a black person in America, and there are constant, sometimes daily reminders of this. Like every corner you turn, like no matter how hard you try, no matter how successful you get. So that right there was just BS to me, honestly. But it was frightening that someone thought like that. Like, I mean, I know people out there, like people that line of thinking exists, but like to actually, I guess, have it within my circle was very like interesting to me. I just wouldn't have seen that coming. But yeah, I think overall it was just a very sad time, and like I just try my best to like stop watching the news, because like this is scary. It's like scary, and then just this right after COVID, it's just like so much going on. This year alone, it's just like
no, in
it's
the
crazy.
midst, not
Yeah,
after. In
in
the
the midst.
midst
My
of.
bad. Yes, it's still going
No,
on.
it's
I'm sorry.
just.
Yes, it's still going on. It's COVID's taking a burst right now because racism is like in the front.
But these things
I saw
fuel each
something
other. So,
online.
but go ahead.
I saw something online. Someone said COVID is at halftime and racism is performing at halftime, something like that. But I was like, oh, that's a good one.
That is good.
But yeah,
That's
it's just
good.
like it's scary times that like we think like after all these senseless killings over the time of Trayvon Martin, and the list goes on and on and on and on, and then like some time passes, and I think like not that we forget about it, but it's just like we go on with our lives, and then we have that like almost like yearly reminder now where it's just like, and even now this year it's been like 5 people that have been murdered as forgive me, but the woman in Louisville, Kentucky, where the cops went in her house. Breonna Taylor, thank you, yes. Where the cops went in her house and shot her whole house up, and then come to find out that the suspect they were looking for was already apprehended by the police and was in jail already. And then her boyfriend, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, they took him to jail because he had a licensed firearm, and because he thought someone was breaking into his house, so he pulled out his gun. So they finally like dropped the charges, but even that took too long. They had him in jail for like 3 weeks over something that's clearly cut and dry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like these reminders that, no, like, yeah, you're still black in America, and this is how the system treats black people in America, and it's sad, honestly, and it's just like very like, I wouldn't even say eye-opening. It's just like a slap in the face reminder, and I hate that I have to keep being reminded of this constantly.
Yeah, wow, that's you kill that. That's a lot to unpack. I don't know where to. I mean, we share all the same sentiments. I don't know where to start. Like the way society's set up, I guess I just react to. I didn't want to see that picture. I was just scrolling Twitter and I saw that picture. I never watched the video. I've heard reports about it and how George Floyd was pleading for his life, and I don't ever want to see. I'll never watch the video, and I don't ever want to see that. Just that image of you kneeling on a man as he's pressed on concrete in cuffs. That's not even needed. He's already contained. You don't need to. He's not going anywhere. There's no need. You have people kneeling on his legs. There's no need to put a knee into his neck. It's just unjustified. But it's just, again, like a slap in the face, like you said. Like I count my blessings. I was telling my mom this. We were just having a separate discussion, race related as well, a couple of months ago. Like I count my blessings. Like I grew up here in New York. That I would think like just me as a person, I'm not really wired to. I don't look at a person and just hate them. I'm more like on actions. I'm just glad that like living in New York and you just see so many people that have that they demonstrate different characteristics based on how they look. I mean, different characteristics regardless of how they look. You have the same traits, good, bad, indifferent, amongst a variety of people. I'm glad that molded me as it did. With that being said, like it's just sad. Like I would never say I'm numb I've come close, but not numb, because I always feel. But in recent years, what I felt a lot is just like hopelessness, like you said. And to your point, when these things happen and they're reported, nothing shocks me. The assumption is that these cops will just get off. And that in and of itself sucks. That is the reality you have to live with, but that is the assumption. So when this happened, like, I don't even know if a cop killed a man. He killed a man, and because of public outcry, and we'll get to that, thankfully, we'll get to that. You charge him with third degree, which is the least of the degrees. Like, they're probably, if they could get a manslaughter off, they would. They probably would, but they're only, the point is they're only charging him because of like public outcry. And then when you see just everything from the governor to the president, it's just a bigger conversation of just how some white people view us. And it's so sad. Like, we were texting about this, I think Friday. You would think that we brought them in slave ships.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy. Like, you have enough in life, enough emotions and trauma just going through your regular life. Imagine just doubling down. And like, you and I, we're not the complaint that we just go about, figure it out. But it's like when the decks are just stacked unfairly like that. Like, I don't know what, and that's why I brought up the New York point. Are there racists here? Obviously. Of course, there's racists everywhere, but the outright racism in New York just won't fly in a place like it would in other places. That's why I brought that up. But like, and I'm off on a tangent, but it's just so much emotion and a lot to really unpack with what you're saying. You have the governor making excuses. I think the point of it, I sent you the Ice Cube tweet that I never really thought about. But I said something to the similar. I said that they could have just arrested that cop. They could have arrested that cop. And if you're racist, whatever you are, which I think they are racist. I don't know, but like, you sacrifice one of your own in their eyes for the good of, because what they've done now is you have protests and looting and damage in Minneapolis, in Georgia, here in New York, because you just wouldn't arrest one man at the time, which should be 3 men, but you wouldn't arrest one man. And look at what you called. And then the Ice Cube tweet is like, you have so much of these people now, and I can't blame them. And who knows what the long term of all that is? Because like we said, you're protesting in the midst of a pandemic. God knows the long term, but I can't condemn those people. They're coming out against injustice. Like, I salute those people. That shit is commendable beyond words. I happened to be by Prospect Park yesterday when people were marching through the park, and at the entrance, everybody was just assembled, Black Lives Matter, speaking, chanting, yelling in support, cars passing, honking their horns in support. That shit is, I need to see that shit in person. Like, that shit just so touched my heart so much to see that. Because the flip of it is, like, you see people justifying what's happening, and it's just good to see the flip. You see people trying to make excuses for what happened. Like, the president basically quoting, I didn't know this at the time, but then on further, he's quoting like a old, like, clearly racist, like,
lieutenant, lieutenant from Miami back in 1967 in the middle of a race war.
Like, and you're the president, and it just starts at the top. You use thugs, and you know what you're doing when you use thugs, because you want to appeal to your base, and you know what you're saying. That's the president of the United States. That's the most powerful position on the planet. He is targeting us. He's like, I don't look at where I am in life like I guess for the average black man, I'm doing good for myself. But I don't look like I'm fortunate and I'm grateful. But I don't ever think, even living in New York, like that shit, none of this shit can happen to me. I never navigate like that.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful. Like that's never been a thought in my mind. I didn't need the reinforcement. It's never been a thought, but it's here nonetheless. I don't know. I just tried to hit everything you said, but it's just sad. It's just really sad that you have the cops assemble at his wherever his house or whatnot after it happens, and it's just a justification for so much wrongdoing. He's clearly wrong. He's clearly wrong.
Yep.
They carried Dylan Ruth out the church and arrested him.
They took him to a Burger King after the fact.
Thank you.
They took him to Burger King before they took him to jail. Took him to Burger King. You hungry?
I'm glad. Thank you for mentioning that. I think this is over like a potential counterfeit money or something like that.
Yeah, potential forgery.
Whatever. Yeah. He could have shot. Well, we have examples of people murdering people in large numbers and still just having the luxury to face a trial. The point is, this is just so uncalled for. Everybody knows it's uncalled for. If you hate the person, you don't care, but it's clearly uncalled for. We laughed about this, like, not this. I'm going to get to it. You text me when those people were, I think, marching in North Carolina, marching the city council, was it?
Yeah.
Where were those people at?
In Raleigh, North Carolina.
Because they wanted things to open up and they didn't want to wear masks.
Pulling up with guns on the state hall, constitutional. Yep.
And we laughed about it. We were like, and we never went in depth about the laughter was the ridiculousness.
Yep.
That's one, but it's also like the fact that obviously they can do this. They feel entitled to do this, which was like the essence of like, wow, another reminder. And look on the flip, you can be handcuffed, face down on the floor, and still. And then I read like they worked together for a while. Like it's just a lot, bro. It's a lot, and it's a reminder that just the excuses and just the hatred some people have for us. It just sucks sometimes to just be reminded like this, but it's needed. I just say my last of this is just I just salute everybody protesting. I've seen some unfortunate things happen to protesters, but I really salute, and it's just good to see allies. It's just good to really see that this is not the country, because you can easily like fall into that like damn. But it's just good to see like their supporters and
and it's like just the unnecessary amount of like excessive force that's used. For the most part, when arresting black people in general, like it's just like, this is so interesting, like how things like, I guess I wouldn't say come full circle, but you were talking about like the forgery, right? And that made me think like, all right, just right now in this moment while we're talking, you got people like, the Bernie Madoffs of the world, who stole billions of dollars from people in pyramid schemes, walked right out. So what was the worst that George Floyd was doing? I don't even know I don't know the extent of the forgery, what it was about, bad checks, whatever. But whatever it wasn't on like a Bernie Madoff level. And you don't see no one slamming him to the ground, when he was getting arrested.
No, and it made me think. Like, that's why I brought up Dylan Ruth. But go ahead.
Yeah. So like I was watching like Chappelle's show the other day on YouTube, and where he had that skit about Tron, where like the police like reversed the way that they treated black people versus white people. And they had Tron, who was like the weed dealer, and the cop called him up and was like, I have a warrant for your arrest on my desk here. Like, this Tuesday work? Can you come in Tuesday at 7:00? And he's like, oh yeah, I think I could do that, whatever. And then they had like the CEO who like stole all this money, and they had like the cops go in there and like raid down his door, like shoot his dog in the head, like crazy stuff that just normally goes on when like they're arresting black people, like the excessive amount of force as compared to like when they're usually arresting, we see stories like them arresting white people. It's like, Dylan Roof goes in there, shoots up a church, and it's like, oh yeah, cool. He walks out alive, handcuffed. Let's go feed him Burger King and go on our way. It's like just, it seems like it's just like this inherent, like we're just viewed as like an inherent threat. Like we're just dangerous. Like you got so many like unarmed black people just getting killed. Like what do you? How I don't understand. Like in this thing, like where a lot of cops say like like they were in fear for their life. How are you in fear for your life? It's 9 of you. It's 1 of me. You all got guns. I don't have guns. You have weapons. You have batons. Everything under the sun, and it's just me. But yet you are in such fear of your life that I'm on the ground, on the concrete, my face to the concrete, handcuffs, arms behind my back, and you're kneeling on my neck and smiling.
Talking about relax.
Yeah. How do you want me to relax if I can't breathe? And then to see, and I try not to get like too lost in the social media, because then like that's when I get even more frustrated to see the other side of how people think. Like I'm seeing all these memes on social media where people are like remaking it and saying like stupid stuff like, oh, how can he not breathe with like arrows at his nose, insinuating that he has such a big nose he should be able to breathe. And then other like people like have like people with their knees and other people's necks and saying I can still breathe. Like nonsense, and it's just like, do you like just devalue our lives that much to the point where it's like
a lot of people clearly do.
Yeah, I know, but like where you just like
you just
are that inhumane. Like you can't even like see the anger and frustration and the immorality in someone's death to the point where you're making fun of it. And I sent you that thread that was like going around Twitter about like things that white people riot over, and like like football games and when sports teams lose. And when that stuff happens, like when we watch that stuff on the news, like it's not covered by the media in the sense that's like they're doing something crazy. Like they're doing something crazy, but it's not like a negative crazy. It's almost like it's like normal. Look at these crazy young people out here, acting up because their team lost or because their football coach is leaving. Like it's almost like glorified in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas people are out here really fighting for social change and injustices, and immediately they're vilified for it. Like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. Like that double-edged sword. Like it's like no matter what, you can't win. If Cap kneels, you're wrong. You don't respect the country. This guy kneels on a black man's neck and kills him. We're wrong for protesting and rioting and just even having a thought. Don't say nothing about it. Like we should just let this pass. You should just be okay with this. It's like literally
you make up crazy and stupid excuses and you insult our intelligence and
then the autopsy report comes out and says that he essentially, I don't know the exact medical lingo, but essentially he didn't die because I guess of like asphyxiation because because the cop was kneeling on his neck. Mm-hmm. His underlying conditions, because he had diabetes and high blood pressure, I believe, contributed to his death. Not because he couldn't breathe. Like that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. And this is why I would not be shocked if this cop, Derek, whatever his last name is, gets off. Because Derek Chauvin, I think it's how you pronounce it, but I wouldn't be shocked if he got off because now you have an autopsy report that's essentially going to correspond in quotes.
Yeah, they plan
that this man didn't die because of this knee to the back of his neck for 9 minutes. He died because he had diabetes and and all these other underlying conditions. It's nonsense. Like it's nonsense. Again, it's an insult to our intelligence, and the fact that a professional doctor, these I don't know the exact term of the medical doctor that does autopsies, but a professional doctor, when you become a doctor, same when you become a lawyer, you have ethics you have to follow. You mm-hmm. agree to abide by certain ethical codes, and for you to even sign your name on a paper and say that this is the reason why this person died, this is the cause of death. It's just mm-hmm. that person should be ashamed of themselves. That doctor should be ashamed of themselves. Everyone who goes along with that should be ashamed of themselves because we have video. We have clear evidence as to why this man died. He was killed. And to just ignore that and put this out. And now to have this, be able to go on trial and have that be evidence at a trial. And to have a judge essentially that's going to be forced to admit that. They're going to be forced to admit that into evidence. It's just, it's insane. And I don't want to, but I can't wait to see who a jury of Derek Chauvin's peers are. I can't wait to see the 12 white people that are on, in the jury pool. I just can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what venue is chosen for this proceeding. I can't wait to see where they're going to hold it. Are they going to hold it in Minneapolis? Highly doubt it. I'm sure they're going to have it moved to some county an hour away from Minneapolis, hour and a half away from Minneapolis that is mostly predominantly white, in which he will get off. And I would not be shocked if any of this happens. And that's what makes it so sad. And that's what makes it frustrating. That's what makes it infuriating, like that these things can happen and that our legal system is set up in such a way that it can be gamed this way, to where you can have 100% evidence that someone is guilty, but if it's but if there's any kind of like loophole or any kind of escape, any way out of it, they'll find a way out of it for the people that they want to find a way out of it for the people that they want to allow. For the people that they want to allow to exercise that loophole, it can be exercised. And that is like what is just honestly like why people are protesting. And for people who don't understand that, then that's just even more infuriating. And at this point, I feel like people who don't understand that just don't want to understand that. And that's what it bottoms out to.
Yeah, I'm not letting anyone off the hook. Like if you can't comprehend what's happening, then you just choose not to. Like I'm not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt in that regard. Like I'm with you on that. Like to your point, and you summed it up, like this society just set up that if Derek C, whatever his last name is, and he walks free, like it's not in the least bit shocking.
Yep.
After you clearly murdered a man on camera. And that just sucks. Like it just, and then you have other people, we all saw the same footage, and but to go back, you have people as high up as the president of the United States, basically, after you just saw a black man get murdered on camera, your response is about looting.
I don't even acknowledge that, man.
When you already know this is all like a chain, but like this is, if it goes up that high in the chain, like what can be done? Like it just feels so, it's just so disheartening, and it just dampens the spirit so much. Like it just sucks. Like again, like growing up in New York, I'm fortunate. We both know a bunch of white people. I have a lot of white acquaintances, friends. A few are like really close friends, and the support is appreciated and really needed at this time. Like I've seen like a lot of people, a lot of various outside of what, just a lot of people just really speak up. And like my personal life, people I know, but as a whole, celebrities and stuff. And unfortunately, like, no, we're all people living on this planet. All that's needed to. So I'm glad this triggered. Like we talked, I don't know. This is bound to happen regardless. This specific amount of, there's only so much people could take. And I just think this happening again on camera and the pandemic, I think, has really fueled a lot of this. And I would just say, to your point about the protests, like I don't judge them at all. Like it's needed, and I salute those people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to add to that, honestly. Like I feel like the more I talk about it, like the angrier I get. So I think I'm content, leaving it there unless you have anything else to add.
No, I would just say that is the society. Like we joke around a lot, but
yeah,
the fact, if you really just think about what's happening in the world and stuff, you just get madder and madder about it. So
yep,
I would just say, like, rest in power, George Floyd. Like it shouldn't
facts.
Rest in power, man.
Seriously, shouldn't have even got this far, man.
No. And hopefully justice is served, and hopefully sincere condolences to the family, and hopefully justice wins out.
Whew. All right. Well, that's a difficult topic to transition out of, but we're gonna
There's
try.
no really natural
Yeah.
transition, but I feel it's important to speak up on this, and
Yeah.
those were our
Seriously.
thoughts.
Yeah.
We don't normally get that heavy politically,
Mm-mm.
with everything, but there's just certain stuff is just too important to pass by. But
Yeah.
regularly we talk about pop culture, sports, etc.,
Mm.
lighthearted stuff, and we're gonna try to shift into that now. But yeah,
Yeah. Let's do
there's no
it.
natural transition, so yeah.
Woo. So where shall we start? You put a lot on the docket for me. You did a lot of research. This pandemic Kev got a lot on his mind.
Yeah, man, boredom's my friend now,
You
buddy.
when you put a picture in here, I said, oh, I said, oh, all
Oh
right.
yeah.
I said, it's JPEG, JPG. What is? I said, my man Kev got a whole pickup in here. Let's just start with NBA in general, man. There's so much going on. I think some slight excitement coming my way. Coming our way. Correction. I'm hearing some good news.
I think it's pretty much a certainty they're gonna come back now.
Yeah, I'm
On
hearing
the
some
report,
good
and
news.
I'm seeing
Yeah,
on ESPN, it's like they obviously not all 38 owners are unified on. There's like 4 different approaches we can get to in a few. Not all
yeah,
30 owners naturally are unified on that, but basically the sentiment I'm reading and seeing is that whatever Adam decides to do, Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, that he's going to get a vote of confidence from the owners. And he's been working with Michelle Roberts, the head of the Basketball Association, and Chris
yeah.
Paul, the president, in tandem, do all of this. So whatever he proposes, I believe it's this week. It might be Friday.
Thursday.
Thursday. Thank you. Thursday.
Don't get it
It's
twisted. Let me give you the exact date.
yeah, please. June 4th.
Yeah, yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm looking at May calendar. Yes, Thursday,
Yeah.
June 4th.
It's gonna get passed. So that's what I'm ready for.
Listen, this is so the target date right now is July 31st.
Okay.
Tomorrow,
It's
actually
June
today,
1st.
that's 2 months
Yes.
from the exact day we're recording this. And then we're releasing this on June 1st, so that'd be like tomorrow. from the day this episode
Today as
drops.
you hear this.
Yeah, today as you hear
Yeah.
this, like, woo!
Damn.
That's 2 months away.
And
that is
would
exactly
have been 3.5 months since the season stopped.
Whew. But the thought that they have a target date is very exciting for me, and I feel like, and not even for me, but also like when I'm like started watching sports shows. You kind of like texted me and was like, oh, like you started getting back into it, and I was like, all right, cool. Let me see what everyone's talking about, and I feel like everyone knows something like more than what they're reporting.
Mm-hmm.
Because the amount of confidence people are talking with, you see people are smiling a lot more on the TV now.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, they know something. They know that this is coming back. So July 31st, in whatever kind of format, we'll talk about the 4 potential formats shortly. But whatever kind of format it comes back in the NBA, I'm accepting it with open arms. I cannot wait. I am so excited. It's been 3.5 months since we've seen an NBA game. Like, we're supposed to be damn near the NBA Finals by now. Normally, the NBA Finals start around this
we're
week.
supposed to be gearing up.
Yeah. Most time they start this week, June, the first week in June.
I think right now the Lakers should have been on break from sweeping whoever they face in the Western Conference Finals and waiting on the Bucks.
Most likely the Clippers,
Yeah, and waiting on the Bucks.
Yeah, young braided one, get out of here.
Yeah, no, they would have started Thursday. It's usually like the first Thursday in June. That one hurt. That hurts, bro.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Now to be the first
they
Thursday
bucking tradition.
September.
Holy shit. Finals after Labor Day.
I ain't got no complaints, bro.
I'll
take it how I can get it. So the 4 proposed formats. The first one is just 16 teams jump straight into the playoffs. The second one is 20 teams with some form of play-in, a 14 play-in. Second one is 22 teams with some form of 16 play-in. And then the last one is 30 teams, a 72-game regular season, and then still some form of playing on the end of that, right?
Yeah, 16 teams directly to the playoffs. Just
They
the
just start the playoffs.
top 16 as is. 20 would be like a group stage play they introduce.
I don't like that. Go ahead.
22 would be games to determine seeding, playing tournament for final seeds. And then 30, which I think we're all opposed to, 72 game regular season with playing tourney.
Yeah.
I'm just definitely the last one's off the table for me. It's just unneeded. In a pandemic, like when you're already, I don't know your thoughts. My thoughts are when you're just trying to get this thing to work, and your goal, your stated goal, obviously, is to crown a champion. You're just introducing just unneeded variables.
Yeah, but I also think the only reason why I thought that was a good idea, because when we first spoke, I said 3 and 4, but I'm leaning towards 3 with 4 being like the 72 game. The only reason why I thought about that is because like you need players to get back into game shape. Like I fear that people just jumping straight into the playoffs, we're gonna end up with an NBA champion that nobody wants, or with an NBA Finals matchup that nobody wants to see, just because like everyone isn't like we're not gonna get everyone in their peak prime physical performance, right? So at least if we have like some regular season games, a little bit warm up to knock the rust off, and to get people back into like game, not even game shape, but just into game speed and playing with everyone again. Because practices are cool, but it's not really like it ain't doing it until you like actually have a game against someone else. So that's why I'm completely opposed to the first one, where to jump straight into the playoffs. I think there needs to be some kind of warm up method. Yeah. Even if they have some meaningless like preseason games that don't count, just something to get people back into the groove of playing basketball and back on the court. Because I think like even we saw the Lakers have a slow start this year. What team had a slow start this year and then came on strong? Like the Jazz had a slow start this year. And it's a lot of teams, yeah. It just happens, like you got to learn how to play with each other, and like that time off, you have to like remember like how to play people, where people are going to be, that kind of stuff. And like I understand like the overexposure and not wanting to risk, like I guess elongating it long, like the season playoffs longer than it has to be, to the point that you're overexposing someone. Because if someone gets this COVID shit, they're gonna have to shut everything down.
We can get to. I don't think so. But we'll get to that.
Well, it depends on who it is. Knock on wood. Say Braun get COVID, like
there's like a lot of you can't plan and assume you're gonna do this without broaching the subject of what happens if you get a positive.
Yeah.
So I don't know what their reaction will be, but they, without question, if you're agreeing to come back, it's something they've gauged. I don't know what their response will be.
Yeah.
But I don't think shutting the entire, because it's going to take so much to get all this done. You going to Disney, everybody in the same. I don't think, obviously depending on who it is going to sway odds, but I don't think it's going to shut everything down. It's my only thing.
Yeah, I just think it depends on how it happens and how. Well, I think it also matters
and
how soon they're. Well, how soon they're able to trace and track and catch that person before a potential game when you're out there playing with multiple people, and then this thing spreads rapidly amongst the players while they're inside this bubble in Orlando.
That's fair. Some things are out of your control. Yeah.
But ideally, I would just like for them to have some kind of warm-up period, some kind of ramp. Like I just don't want definitely want the first game they're playing to be in the playoffs. And then I'm also like kind of leery about like the first game you play being like some playing game that's like very important in terms of seeding.
To your point, yeah, one should definitely be off the table, and I think the 30 as well should be. To your point, if LeBron comes out and says, I think he needed like 3 to 4 weeks. He said he wanted like a training camp. This isn't like LeBron bias. He's the GOAT, whatnot. To me, and I don't know how many people can argue, if he's not the most well-conditioned athlete, well, he's up there all time. He's definitely current, if not all time. So that just comes if a guy like that, who definitely has his own gym, who's definitely in the gym, who his resume speaks for itself. He's doing whatever he's doing in year 17. If he says he needs warm-up time, I can only imagine what like everybody else needs. If not the same, if not more. So to your point, yeah, they definitely need warm up. So I hate the first one as well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
It seems they're going to settle on 22.
Yeah. And what's 22 again? Can you read that to me again, if you don't mind?
Games to determine seed and playing tournament for the final seeds.
That is scary. That is scary. And the only reason why it's scary because it sounds like that's not going to be like an East versus West thing.
Mm-hmm.
And based on like that could be scary depending on how matchups happen. That could be scary.
Yeah,
like
just things I don't want to say out loud.
No, but like God forbid, like
there's concerns I don't want to express out loud.
There's a lot of concerns. God forbid, like the Lakers end up with the tougher road and the Clippers end up with like this little cakewalk.
All right, so, like quick side. Who do you think benefits more from this break, the Clippers or the Lakers?
Clippers.
That's where I landed too.
Yeah, you got Kawhi, who's injury prone like hell.
Paul George
was recovering from an injury.
Beverly was injured at the time. Like they had so much injuries at the time when
so much wear and tear.
A lot of wear, not injuries. A lot of clear wear and tear.
Mm-hmm.
As we were on that faithful March weekend when real niggas was repping. They had so much. So I think they definitely had when Braun was coming out.
Just to clarify, was that the weekend when Braun came out, smacked Giannis first, and then proceeded to go smack the Clippers?
I believe, if my memory serves right,
that was a Friday night.
Friday night in Los Angeles. Woo! LeBron came out against the best team in the NBA at the time, at least record-wise.
Thank you.
The odds-on MVP favorite, they had only lost a handful, and he not only outperformed, but he had not only outperformed that MVP, but then the Lakers smacked the Bucks. And I think on that Sunday as well.
The came Clippers, up Sunday, said,
the prohibited favorite, I think 2 days later, again in Los Angeles. In the Clippers home game. Look, I don't make the stadium.
So that mean the arena was half empty. No,
hey.
I'm joking. But not funny. They said there was more Lakers fans there.
Oh no, we heard it. But look, you can't look. You do we all make choices. Again, he outperformed another player that people said is better than him, and his team again.
First of all, there's like weekend. 2 people that say that, and one of them is Max Kellerman. I don't know anybody else.
It's looking rough. Yeah. Well, yeah.
But yes, that faithful weekend continue.
Why did I bring that up?
My bad, I cut you off.
I don't even know why I brought that up.
That was like the last great weekend of basketball because right after that Tuesday is when the NBA stopped. Was when
I forgot why I brought that up. Yeah, but I forgot why I mentioned that. We're talking about seedings and
the Clippers likely having the easier road.
Oh no, we're talking about who benefits more between the Lakers and the Clippers.
Yes. Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. But you were on a tangent that I interrupted you on.
Yeah, I mean, like that. Just like based on like potential matchups, right? Just the craziest things that could happen, right? This benefited random teams, right? This benefited the Sixers. Joel Embiid potentially got a chance to get healthy. This benefited the Nets.
And Ben Simmons.
I forgot Ben Simmons. He had that back injury. Yeah. Whatever. His lower lumbar. So he's probably gonna come back full strength now.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Nets. Kyrie Irving was injured. There's whisperings around the league that KD might come back.
He hasn't said he's not coming back. There's reports he's not, but he hasn't.
Listen.
So yes, I agree with you.
Even if KD comes back, he's not going to be 100% himself, right? But just the threat of that, and the Lakers having to potentially, and the Nets are what, like 6th or 7th in the East right now. Like they're low seed. So like the potential that if they're not doing the East versus West, and the Lakers end up having they draw the Nets or the Sixers in the first round, that's a tough out. And the Clippers end up drawing,
especially if he comes back.
Come on, like that's a rough outing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just it makes me nervous. And like, obviously, this is all
That
Braun
one does
bias.
make me a little
This
nervous.
is all I'm thinking about. It's like, how is Braun going to be affected by
Oh,
this?
without question, yes.
Like,
I'm not hiding it. Yeah.
yeah, no, this is definitely Braun bias. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. So it's not East versus West. All right, cool. Like this is crazy.
Kyrie and KD, and they'd be matched against them if they do open
Come on.
seeding, and if
Come
KD
on.
returns,
In the
and if
first
Kyrie
round,
returns, yeah, nah. How do you pass
in
that
the
up if you're
first
them?
round,
If you're KD, and how do you pass that up? We're gonna wait till the regular season, which is gonna be like
yeah. And based on
at
this
least 4,
picture
maybe
you sent
6
me,
months away. Yeah.
the Clippers will be playing Dallas. That's it. Come on.
Nah, they facing Luka. Don't do that. Luka's a top 10. And
He is.
Porzingis, he was rounding. But yeah, the level of the duo's talent, yes. I
Yeah.
agree.
But Kawhi is going to be a challenge. Kawhi and Paul George are going against soft Luka. Luka's soft. You seen the Lakers? No, I'm not saying that he's not, that rested ain't going to help, but he is soft.
What do you mean?
The Lakers beat him up every time they played.
Oh, yeah.
This man was holding his head concussed.
That nigga had a concussion game one, that first meeting. When Danny Green hit it to send it to overtime, yeah, he was.
You got 2 first-team NBA defensive players. You got Paul George and Kawhi to throw at him.
No, KD and Kyrie, like, there's few tandems that's better. Like, LeBron's there are few tandems that are better than that. Anything else, it's all an argument, but there's few. I'm just saying Luka's nothing to sneeze at, and Porzingis.
First of all, Luka is potentially the future of the NBA.
No, he is.
Ooh.
He's averaged almost 30 in the second season.
He plays no goddamn defense. Like, none.
You do.
But I'm not that person. I'm out here trying to force subjects. He don't play no defense. I'm not that guy. Yeah, you're right. He is the future of the NBA. But yeah, so that's just my only fear. It's like I'm really like interested and intrigued about how the seeding is gonna play out. Woo! But we'll find out Thursday how they're gonna do it and what their plan is. Have the teams got back to practice yet? Sorry, go ahead. What you about to say?
Last report I saw, and I don't remember. I just get random alerts on my phone. I saw like 24 of 30, 22 or 24 of the 30 teams had. And I think this was last week. You can't really quote, but the majority has. If you're doing this, you would have to assume, because you would have to cry like we're not participating under the same conditions. So the majority have. I don't know if all, but the majority have.
God no.
I would just say, to reiterate the 22 games to determine seeding. That could also just be because a lot of, like, I know in the West there's like a 3 or 4 team jumble of potential candidates. So they could just be doing that just to determine a fair, like, West participant for like the 8th seed.
Then Lakers shouldn't play.
I'm saying.
Oh, no, for you mean like 7 through 10?
I think like it should. Yeah.
7 through 10. Yeah, those 4. I think 7 through 10 in the West are like separated by like 2.5 games.
No, games to determine seed and playing tournament for the final seed. So what I just said pertains to the last half of that statement, but games to determine seeding could just be like games to determine seeding in a regular.
Yeah, that scares me.
No. Just games to determine, like, in a regular East versus West. We still have to play each other and see. Maybe the Lakers do end up with the number 1 seed in the West after maybe the Bucks do, but we'll just play these couple more games and see where the seeding shakes out ultimately.
Gotcha.
I think that's the way that plays.
I would hope so. I don't think now is the time to be experimenting with deleting the East versus West. I don't think now is the time.
The argument I read, and it's
Jalen
a good
Rose
argument. I definitely saw him talking. Yeah, probably he's one of them. Yeah, but they're just all there. But I'm with you. It's like, just keep it.
Yeah, that's true. They are all in the same. They're
all there. The argument against it previously was just like, you have to do the travel. You don't have that anymore. I wouldn't be opposed to it, honestly. I wouldn't be. In this weird time where you're trying to get eyeballs and then you're gonna go into the NFL season.
Let me look at the East.
If you go through there's some like really potential intriguing. Like the first round is never intriguing, but in the first round you get OKC, Miami, Boston, Philly, as is Dallas, Clippers, Lakers, Nets. Like those are all. There feel like
I don't want that. If the Lakers can get like Indiana, I'm good. And then in the second round,
I'm with you. I'm not. Look, you're more overt. I think I'm pretty overt. Look, I want
with the
whatever helps
easiest path
Braun
ever.
succeed without question. I'm just saying as an entertainment.
Yeah, nah. This is a very interesting.
Standpoint versus most round one
Terrible
matchups are you could get a lot of really good matchups. Milwaukee, Orlando still trash. That feels like that's still trash. But again, OKC, Miami,
entertaining.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Boston, Philly, Dallas, Clippers.
Even like Denver, Indiana, I'd watch.
That'd be good.
Oladipo's back. Memphis,
Toronto.
Yeah.
I will watch that just for Ja.
Or maybe
and Houston, Utah.
Maybe get a Zion in there, but hey, whatever. Go ahead.
Houston, Utah would be good as well.
Yeah, watch all.
Because Russ hate. Russ hate Salt Lake.
You know how they give it up to each other. Yeah. You know how he give it up. You know how they give it up to him.
Yeah, they do not like Russ.
Allegedly.
Man, every time the game's in there, he get the ref to kick someone out.
God knows what he heard that night.
Oh man. But yeah, I'm like super excited for it. What's not exciting though? These damn Warriors, man.
These niggas playing. This is disgusting.
Yo, it's disgusting how they somehow continuously find themselves in position to land someone. And
they do this one. I can't do it, beloved.
They do this one. I'm losing all respect for Giannis. That's one.
I would base on his comments.
What did he say? What was his comments?
Basically, like, stay loyal. He doesn't want to team up. It's been his, like, previous sentiments.
Oh, come to New York then.
Word.
No.
We'll never get you help. You'll never have to worry about that here.
It'd be him and, what's the name? What's that dude we drafted? Barrett. RJ Barrett. This is sad.
Oh my God. His stat line makes my eyes bleed. But yeah.
the shooting splits. But yeah.
I might get Chris Paul, but go ahead.
I'll take that. But if you want to stay loyal and don't team up, come to New York, Giannis. You get you get that media spotlight. Mm-hmm. And you won't have any help. You'll be good to go.
Yeah, I don't know. He can't win the title though. I'm sorry, because in my scenario, Braun is playing in the same league as you at the moment. So if your goal is to win and that will motivate you to stay, then cool. But in my opinion, I can't have you win the title on my watch. Braun has to succeed overall. No, he can win. I'm just saying.
When will he be a free agent? Though?
I think it's next year.
The end of next year?
I think he'll be entering in like his contract.
Yeah, he can win after that.
He can win after Braun retire.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think Braun's gonna retire in like 3-4 years, maybe 3.
That's another thing. Like he's still pretty young.
Who, Giannis or Braun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nigga, come on. I love Braun today.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, the wine ain't hitting like
I was like, that wine's strong.
Year 17. He's still young. I mean, come on.
I was like, damn, that wine's strong over there.
Yeah, chill.
But yeah, Giannis is young. So he come to New York in 2 years, and have 2 years of just being like, making the second round, pushing like right on the Eastern Conference Finals, right on the brink of it, but not making it. And then finally get over the hump. We sign one additional player and win the championship.
I'm intrigued because they definitely have him next season. So I'm intrigued when he has to face he has to be like real competitors in the East again. Mm-hmm. Like a KD, Kyrie.
That's gonna be nuts.
Embiid, Simmons, assuming Philly doesn't do something with that tandem.
They definitely are.
That's a you gotta look to your side and see. It's you and Chris, so it's gonna be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they have real competition.
I really don't. It's nice for him to say that, but I don't see him staying.
They all say that. That's the thing. Like, and I
don't
don't even blame them.
It.
They probably mean it, but just and
when
I
the
salute
opportunity
them.
presents itself, in actuality.
But I salute them because that just means their need to win just outpowers because you get more money if you stay at home. You get I think $250 million because they could offer him another year.
Mm-hmm.
So if he leaves, that's a really big thing he's passing up on, relatively. Money-wise, it is. Money-wise, it is.
But so what happened? Let me cut this lamp on. It's dark in here. But so what happens is they sit down. So what happens is right now you're like, oh yeah, you can lose out on all this money, right? Mm-hmm. And then his agent sits him down and say, well, if you sign in New York, you can get all these endorsement dollars, all these media dollars, et cetera, and that makes up for what you would have gotten if you stayed in Milwaukee. And right now they don't see that because something like that isn't on the table. Not just New York, but any larger market. Right now they don't see that. Because, right now they don't see it because it's not right in front of them. But when it actually is in front of them and the math is done, they don't know what the salary cap's going to look like at the time. All that good stuff. Then that's when they're like, oh, you remember what I said 2 years ago? Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, that without question, I fully agree on. Mm-hmm. And they also say, what's it worth to have? I think the thing might be almost $80 million difference between if he stays at home and goes between the 4th and the 5th and the home rights. Mm-hmm. But it's about 50 to 80 million. But they also say, what's the point of you just coming close and getting that additional money versus winning? You have to weigh that as well. Mm-hmm. While you're still making almost $200 million regardless on top of your previous earnings. You have to do some real soul searching to see what's important to you.
Those are real first world problems.
Hashtag, right?
Yo.
You epitome, beloved.
250 million and you still can make it to the playoffs, or 200 million and have a chance to win a championship.
I think it's 176. I just glanced them on mm-hmm. Instagram, but I think there's astronomical numbers.
Either way, it's generational wealth.
Yeah, you're wealthy.
Yeah, no worry. You don't have a worry in the world either way.
Yeah,
financially anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a job and a kid in quarantine, but go ahead.
Yeah. Oh man.
But that's to answer, I don't want to see it happen. But if the impetus of it is them losing, then cool. Bron's on his way out. Our team sucks, the Knicks. So Bron, get ahead as much as you can. You're not getting in my way. So get as much as you can. If his decision ends up sparking something like that, then cool. I don't really. If they're not beating Bron, then it's not going to hit me the same. And it's not a super team to that extent. Mm-hmm. No, it's close, actually. No, forget it. No, I take that back. It is. If you just add Giannis, it would be like adding Durant.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, so no, I take that back.
Question. This is a little doing backtracking because we said Luka's the future of the NBA. Mm-hmm. Are we overlooking Giannis in that?
I mean, you could have multiple futures. Zion's a future as well. It's not a one person.
Nah, Bron was the future of the NBA. Who else? Oh,
so you're asking about the one?
Yeah.
I would have.
Look at Miss Cleo talk about there's multiple futures. What are you talking?
Because there's many people going to lead the next.
Who is the future of the NBA?
I would have to do Giannis. He already won an MVP. Okay. 5 years old.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean people won't win MVP in his reign. People won MVP on Bron.
But we all knew they weren't as good as Bron.
Oh, you mean the one? The one?
Yeah.
I guess Giannis.
If he gets a shot.
He won an MVP and he can't shoot. So I would assume.
That's insane.
He got to be next up.
It's crazy because everyone knows he's going to the rack.
And they can't stop him.
And he just goes.
That's Shaq-ish.
That's crazy.
Giannis, Zion, Luka. Rank them from 3 to 1.
Giannis, Luka, Zion.
From 3 to 1?
Oh, 3 to 1. Sorry. I did it 1, 2, 3. From 3 to 1, Zion, Luka, Giannis.
Cool. I think I agree with that.
And even Zion, I just can't. Nah. I don't know yet. I have to see. I'm not sold on the young man.
He's been impressive so far, at least stats-wise. You just come in from college and average 20. That's the thing, too. You add into my point. Definitely got them love handles. I think so, too.
Yo.
But he playing against professional competition and averaging
he's
over 20 as a
grown
rookie.
Men. Bodying grown men.
As a rookie. Like, he just got dropped into the NBA game, and he putting up numbers. So I'm just saying, keep it in mind.
I can't deny that. I'm just, I'll just have to wait and see. Like, the health prospects, it's just a lot. When I look at him, he just don't look healthy.
Very valid, beloved.
He doesn't have the same like athleticism, the same bounce he had in college.
You can speak to that.
The man just looks like he's stretching out jerseys. It's like, it's cool. We'll see. I just don't know. I just don't know. We'll see.
Fair enough.
But it's a lot of hype, and that's what it is. A lot of hype. I hope he lives up to it. I want to see him shine. I want to see him succeed. But I just, I don't know if he'll, live up to that hype, that, next Bron hype. I don't know about that, beloved.
Well, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
LeBron is he's our GOAT. Without question, he's on the Mount Rushmore of NBA players.
And I don't see Zion being that.
Yeah. So that's just, don't do that. Don't do that. So
yeah, you setting up something he can't.
Yeah, his health might not even let him get to.
The man, I'll be shocked if he played 10. Like, if he gets to 10 seasons, that's an accomplishment.
Because he needs rings. Like, he puts up numbers for like the next 6 seasons, but they keep getting bounced in the playoffs, and it's not his fault. Then you're just where Bron was before he won his first ring, and you only put 6 seasons in. Like, the most you can possibly get is like a Hall of Fame bid. You don't even come close to like the Bron hype. So it just easy with that. Like, a lot comes with that. This is year 17 for our guy on the job. But
he's still out here, and he's still out here bodying people.
Hey, man. Look, I can't think for people, you know what I mean? But if I was the league favorite for MVP and I got upstaged by a dude that's almost 10 years older than me, I would feel away. But I'm not everybody. I would feel away. If I'm in my prime and I just won MVP and I have the best team and I stepped on the court and got embarrassed by a dude 10 years older than me,
that's an old man.
I would feel away. He's an old man. He has gray in his beard. I would feel away, but that's just me.
What was the hashtag Bron was using this still current season, I suppose? Not comeback season.
Strive for greatness? What? Wash King.
Wash King. Wash King. I love
Rally
it.
Done.
It's over.
Tell him go home, bro. Put some splash of water in his face. Tell him go home.
He done in these streets. He done. Oh.
Yeah, man.
Wash King. Oh,
good news.
While we're talking about that, it was interesting. I'm gonna go too much back onto the George Floyd thing. But you see, MJ spoke out today.
I did.
Very shocking.
I did. It was extremely shocking.
I was like,
I was gonna text you, but I was like, we're gonna pod. So
okay,
extremely
MJ.
Shocking.
Yeah. So my initial feeling was, don't know I want to hear that shit now, right? Just because, like, watching Last Dance and he was like doubling down on Republicans by sneakers too, all that nonsense, whatever. But then I thought about it and I was like, I would essentially be criticizing him for doing what I've asked him to do all this time. So now that he did speak out, no, seriously, I'll be criticizing him for him doing what
Oh.
everyone's asking him to do. Speak out, use your voice. And now that he's used his voice, I can't criticize him for it. I can't say why. I mean, you always do it. Then then that'll be the reason why he doesn't want to speak out. So I will say, I'm glad he spoke out, and I'm glad that he said what he said, and I'm very appreciative of it. So kudos to Michael Jordan for that.
Yeah, fully agreed. Fully agreed, and it just again goes to everybody that's spoken out. I've seen some people that surprise me as well that they stay silent. And that's not a reflection on their ideals, but because you stay silent, we don't really know. But I've seen a lot of people. I think like Tom Brady just put his name on.
Shocking.
Like that's what it's come to, and like I love it.
That man don't say nothing.
That's what I'm saying. So I love it. I'm glad that's sparking people to really. Yeah. It's needed. Like it can't just be us. They'll just warp our words and misrepresent us. So it's needed.
And a part of that I also think is like a part of that thing is also like the pandemic as well, because people, you know, have been in their houses and you have a lot more time to like self-reflect and actually like think and process what's actually going on in the world, rather than you just being like so consumed with your own life and your own like daily movements. Like for the most part, even still to this day, like even though, you know, some states are reopening, a lot of people are still in the house, you know, and these athletes are still in the house. So now, you know, I guess, and I'm not using Tom Brady as an example, but like someone like that, of that ilk normally would be, you know, out and about, training camps, all these things that aren't happening. So now you have like way more time to process it. Now you're sitting here watching TV like everyone else is watching TV, and you're seeing everything that's going on outside. You're seeing everything that's going on in your neighborhood. And I have more time to process these things. And I think that's potentially one of the reasons why we're seeing people who usually would not speak out.
No, yeah. Yeah, we talked about without question.
Yeah.
Like, people are fed up. People don't know where their next meal's coming from. You lost a job. You can't pay your mortgage. You can't pay rent.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of
people are fed up and
factors.
Or you can do all those things, but you're just trapped in the house. Like that alone could be. But then when you add in any to all combinations, and then they just killed another unarmed black man. It's just people have their limits, and so I fully agree with you.
Yeah.
Again, I just appreciate the allies. Like this is a society that's built on they report the most minuscule things if you're popular. Such and such, I don't know, going to grocery shop. If you have the name, the way society is built and these companies are built, it's about traction and whatnot. If you have the name brand, they'll report the most minuscule, stupidest things. We get these alerts all the time. So let's use it for the positive. Those names speak out against police injustice. It's going to spark something. So,
Yep. And speaking of Tom Brady, you said there's a potential doc in the works.
I thought ESPN said he might be the next one up.
Oh, I missed.
Yeah, I am I making that up?
You could.
I could have sworn I saw that.
Might be. You might have been off the vino.
Might have been.
Got them vino fingers.
Yeah.
In the notes. I was like, damn, we talking about a doc? He ain't even retired yet.
No. I was right. Friday, May 22nd, per CNN, ESPN is producing a 9-part documentary series on another great athlete considered to be the greatest of all time in his sport, quarterback Tom Brady.
Dope. Can't wait to watch that. Whenever that comes out.
I saw Ray yesterday, social distancing, and we talked about that. He's just not, I'm going to watch it, but he's just not, he doesn't seem as interesting as
it's not captivating.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. It's not captivating.
He and Bill would really have to give it up, and Robert would really have to give it up for this to be worthwhile. Really
spill all the beans, all the juice, all that dirt.
Yeah. So, I'll watch it though. I mean,
yeah.
But still,
we'll see. If the world is reopened and everything is normal, then it'd be something I like. I wouldn't watch it while it's debuting.
Yeah, not with the same. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
If we on lockdown, then
A same kind of passion. No, it's not need.
yeah,
It's not a must. I'll get to it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
It's Tom Brady, beloved.
Yeah, come on.
Whew. Did we hit everything? I think we hit everything.
Yeah.
All right, people. I guess just try to keep your heads up and stay safe. That's really, that's really all. Like, that's what we can do
Yeah,
in this time. Stay safe, honestly. Yeah. Woo. Stay safe. And as always, people, thank you for.
No. I just want to
Go
add.
ahead.
No, I fully agree. And in these trying times, just stay safe.
Seriously.
It's a lot going on just from the pandemic alone. And then you have society as well. So these are really trying times. But like you said, stay safe. Try to keep your sanity.
This is insane. Speaking, I'm watching CNN in the background real quick, and I'm just like seeing cops just pushing women. These are men just pushing women. Why?
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't get it. Anyway, it's disgusting. As always, people, thank you for your love, your support. Please make sure you rate the podcast. Please make sure you guys support the YouTube page. We're like really working hard getting these full length episodes and clips up there. So we have the full length clips on YouTube. Check those out. IGTV, please check those out. Make sure you check out the audio of the podcast, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Acast, everywhere that podcasts are streaming. We are there. Until next time, this is Coolin out.
Stay cool.